Run.
Hi, Otis. How are you this week?
Well, I am amazing. How are you doing, Mother Galloway?
I'm doing well. Been a long week this week. Republican National Convention.
What was that?
Happened since the last time.
What was that?
What was that?
Yeah.
We had another shooting that happened.
Yeah.
An unarmed black man. We've had cases of COVID going all over the place. But, you know, it looks like the movement is still standing resilient and strong, and people are fighting back.
Yeah, people are fighting back and getting shot, so they need to learn to listen.
Yes.
I'm just saying it's sad that we have to experience this weekly now, you know, but it is what it is. And maybe that, yeah, it is what it is.
I mean, it's tough. It's tough. And that's why I think this show today that we're talking about today is so timely as we talk about mental health and isolation and COVID-19. Mental health, substance use are topics that are very dear to me. You know, from a very early age, you know, I've had to talk about my mental health with a mental health professional as far as being ADHD and parents having issues around taking medication and things of that nature. And so you know, from a very young age, I realized that mental health, substance use are topics that are kind of taboo in the Black community and even in the Latinx community.
Yeah, I'll agree totally.
Yeah,
it's rapid in our community, period, though. And a lot of folks don't want to face it and understand that's all it is mental health.
And it really sometimes, you know, these issues are really about illness and sickness and addressing it early on so that it doesn't take course in other ways. Mm-hmm. And so, like, I want to just kind of like really dig into this conversation with Dr. Simmons and the misunderstood social worker, Joseph Williams, because I think we are going to talk about real things in this show. I'm going to talk about my experience. I'll let you speak for you, but you've always been kind of real in talking about the things that are happening in your perspective in the community. And I think that we're going to touch on some topics and bring on some serious folks to have these discussions.
Sounds good. And you guys are listening to Fahrenheit Live 2020 right here in Chicago. I'm Otis Mack, Chicago's Heavy Diva, and you are?
I'm Anthony Galloway, and I don't have any other special title other than that.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. Well,
I can't be a diva.
Yeah, let's move forward because we got a lot of things to cover tonight.
Yes, we do.
And I do believe I don't have the script in front of me, but I think it's time for our artists. Am I correct?
Yeah. So Akenya, homeborn and all our own, Akenya has decided to join us on the program tonight.
That is simply amazing. And let me just tell our listening audience that Akenya, she is a native of Chicago. She's a multi-genre singer. She's a pianist, a composer, an arranger, as well as an educator. Her music places a strong emphasis on jazz and incorporate elements of hip-hop, soul, pop, classical, and world music. She's collaborated with some of the most influential artists as our fellow Chicagoans, Chance the Rapper. You know, we love Chance the Rapper, No Name, and Legend Mavis Staples. Yes, she's reading her bio just had blew me. I tell you, it really has blew me.
We bring some good guests on the show, don't we?
Yes,
Our music editor is really good.
Her electrifying style and keen musicianship has garnered the attention of publications such as Chicago Tribune, Afropunks, and The Fader. She has performed her music globally, and her latest single, Decay, can be found on all streaming platforms. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, y'all make some noise for our special guest artist tonight. She goes by the name of Akenya.
What's up, Akenya?
Hello, how are
Hey,
you? How you doing?
Excited. Hey.
Well, I'm very excited to be here, and I also am very enthusiastic about this topic. So I'm happy I could be here tonight.
Well, thanks for being a part of the show. Now, show us what you do.
Okay. This next song is actually going to be a new song that I haven't put out yet. So I'm getting a little sneak preview. It's called Skin Deep, and it's kind of about being addicted to a person, even though a situation is toxic. So,
Oh, we can all talk about that. I tell you.
all right, here we go. Yeah. Uh, uh. 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 Come on. You are my addiction. What's this fiction that you spin? 1 minute you love me, then affront me once again. What did I do to deserve the agony I'm in? I tried to forget you, but I let you under my skin. 'Cause it's yeah. Falling like a when I'm skin deep. Come on. What you do this to me? I was fine before you came. I used to be so wild and free until you put my pride to shame. I need healing from this feeling reeling in my brain. 'Cause you slipped underneath my skin. Now nothing is the same. Ooh, yeah. How it's skin deep, skin deep, skin deep, 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 deep. Oh. I think about you all the time. Yeah. This love I feel for you is so intense. It's so intense. I guess I'm in too deep. So deep, no sleep. Only you on my mind. I'm falling, all in, haunted by you all the time. I'm slowly going totally out of my mind. I've got to stop wanting you, but every time I yeah, 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 yeah. Skin deeper. Escape, escape. No, I can't quit ya. Can't forget ya. Why can't I let you go, 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 go? I can't. No, 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 skin. No, 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 no. Skin, 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 deep, skin, 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 deep, skin, 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 deep.
All right. Y'all make some noise for Akenya. Can y'all hear me? Am I on?
I can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Akenya, thank you so much, dear. You got some vocals.
Oh, thank you.
You got some vocals and you got some range. Akenya, how long have you been singing?
They told me I sang myself to sleep as a baby, so I guess 27 years.
Oh, okay. Amazing. So I see we're around the same age. I'm just 29. So can you also tell us what inspires you?
Many, many things, but I think mostly possibility. Possibility of our future, possibility of, what we can create, what we can envision, that spark of hope that keeps us going. I think that's what inspires me.
Amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, you've been listening to Akenya. You'll hear back from her just a little later. Y'all make some noise. And thank you so much for being with us, Akenya. This is Akenya, and you are live at Fahrenheit 2020. Anthony, go on.
So the next person we have is Dr. Danielle Simmons. Dr. Danielle Simmons is a practicing psychologist here in Chicago. We met a couple times, and she's just a great and phenomenal energy, has really great energy. And as a therapist, she brings her experience as a multi-identified individual into her therapy work. I think it's absolutely tremendous. And then we have Joseph Williams, a blogger, a social worker who engages young people in their mental health. And I think they're great additions to the program tonight, especially as we talk about isolation. We're talking about mental health, and we're talking about COVID-19. So let's welcome them to the program at this point.
All right.
How are you all?
Hello.
How are you, Doctor? And Joseph, how you doing?
Doing wonderful.
You wearing that hat?
Thank you.
It is a nice hat.
Yeah, it's a nice hat.
I also like the fact, let me just say this. You look very psychologist with the books in the back, with the hair in that seat. I want to have a seat on that lovely chair so I can talk to you about the things going on during COVID-19. And
There is a lot, isn't it?
oh my God. And Joseph, thank you also for being a part of the program. I've admired your work for many years, and I'm so glad that you and I and Otis and all of us get to connect with you on the Fahrenheit family. How are you tonight?
Doing wonderful. Doing wonderful.
Okay. All right. So let's start the questions off with you, Dr. Simmons.
Yeah.
So can I call you Danielle? Do you mind?
You, of course,
Okay.
you certainly can call me Danielle.
Okay. One thing about me is that when Black women rock, I want to make sure I'm rocking with them.
appreciate
You
it.
worked hard for those 3 degrees, and I want to make sure that I honor Black women on this program by making sure that I style them appropriately.
Thank you.
So it is a style that you've earned, and I want to make sure that I honor that.
I really appreciate the thoughtfulness, Anthony. Yeah, I'm very comfortable going by Danielle. My clients call me all kinds of things, from Dr. D to Dr. Danielle, Dr. Simmons, girl. It don't matter.
Do you currently have any openings?
I do not have any openings.
Shade.
Although
Okay.
I have a small private practice and have fortunately been able to hire a couple of folks. And so I don't have openings, but my colleagues have openings.
I was just asking. So let's start let me just start off with the big question out there.
Mm-hmm.
So we're isolated at home. We are some of us are not going into work because we have to work from home.
Yeah.
Many of us are LGBTQ. So some of us, like myself, who don't have a partner, we're isolated alone, right?
Yeah.
Talk to us, Dr. Simmons. And I want to talk to because we also in the LGBTQ community also have families. But I want to specifically start off with people who are isolated and alone. I know that my mental health has deteriorated being home so long, and I don't like being around people all that much, right?
Sure.
Talk about what that looks like. What have you been seeing, and what are some strategies that we can look to as we're at home alone during the stay-at-home order and being well?
Right. Thanks, Anthony. That's a good question. So what I'm seeing is, I think prior to COVID, prior to the stay-at-home order, a lot of folks were already maybe feeling some of the stress and strain of living alone. Like I feel like isolation is not a new theme that I hear about as a clinician. A lot of folks, whether it's folks who are very social and like to be around people, or folks who are more introverted and would rather be alone, they still want a connection. Folks want to feel loved. You know, many of us have a love language that centers around touch, words of affirmation. And so when you don't have connection to that kind of community, it really does take a toll. And then you add a worldwide pandemic, and what do you get? You get even more isolation. You get feelings of the unpredictable nature of this thing. So we don't know when it's going to end. You know, back in March, we thought, oh, give it a couple weeks. Now it's been several months and we're still alone. And so even the folks who have access to, say, a roommate or a live-in partner, there's still ways that you can still feel pretty isolated even when with other people.
Well, I mean, you bring up a really good point. Like I think about my friends, and I often think about, like, early on in my life, I used to involve my friends in my shit, right? Mm-hmm. And I often hear mental health therapists talk about that we should be very clear about the roles that people play in our lives, that they're not playing dual roles, that your friends aren't taking on the responsibility of being your teacher, therapist, and all of those things. So I certainly understand where you're coming from when you bring up the ideal that even if you have a roommate or a partner, is that really their role, right?
Exactly. And can you actually derive the support you need? Because for a lot of us, there are times where we just want someone to listen versus having somebody be like, I know exactly what you're going through. I got that problem too, right? Because sometimes just having someone present isn't the same as quality emotional support. And so when we talk about strategies for coping at this time, I think I'm seeing a lot of people get creative. So there's all these virtual meetups happening. Folks are gathering at parks, doing social distancing. Like, I think people are being really creative about how to get their emotional and social needs met, because truly we were created as interpersonal beings. Right. And so even, you know, many of us are really needing somebody to just tell us, like, it is hard out here, because there is no quick answer. There's no quick fix. There's no, you know, clear end in sight of when we'll be able to go outside again for real, for real. So.
And you bring up, so I'm thinking about that last point that you made around touch and feel and being, and I know for a lot of gay men, and I don't know for women, and, you know, and the bigger spectrum of our community. But I know as a gay man, sometimes, like as a single gay man, I want to go on a date. Yeah. I want to have sex. We are sexual beings. Talk to us about what are healthy ways of dealing with that? I know I haven't dealt with it healthy. I know I talk to friends who have not dealt with it in a healthy way. Talk to us about healthy ways that we can live in making sure that we are both being true to ourselves and loving on ourselves by making sure that we're being healthy.
Yeah.
Also at the same time, getting that nourishment, if you will.
Yes. Well, already, when you just said love on ourselves, I don't know if your audience would be comfortable hearing this from me, but as a provider, I am often encouraging folks to engage in some self-love, whether we're talking about masturbation, taking yourself on a date, a long bath, like all the things that you would want from someone outside of your body, finding a way to give that to yourself rather than waiting for some other human to like swoop in and be able to meet those needs. Like, it's really important.
I feel like you're giving me a therapy session right now. And, you know, I really believe that therapy, I believe that you all do such a fabulous job of taking it in and giving us back what we said to you in a neat gift for us to kind of understand. And so I know the therapists that have been in my life, the 5 and 6 of them that have been in part of my life, that they have been instrumental in making sure that I am aware and that I come to terms, you know, some of the trauma and some of the triumphs that have happened in my life. Talk to us about strategies that you use, or you know, this ideal around, oh my God, I'm not crazy, I'm cool. I don't need a therapist.
I mean, this is I'd like to first start by normalizing seeking therapy. I really appreciate you saying that, because I think for a lot of Black folks, brown folks, queer folk, there can be a lot of shame or insecurity around needing that support. And then there's some ways that we start to separate, like therapy is for the people with illness or crazy, when really there is no, to me, there's no one category of folks that are problematic. I think many of us have like tendencies and behaviors that are problematic, or we have ways of thinking that are problematic. And so getting into a relationship with a confidential other person, like getting into a safe relationship where you can really talk about some of that stuff without shame, without judgment, and like really explore the deep roots. Because a lot of what I talk to clients about is not just the behavior that's manifesting, but what's under the behavior, right? Is it a need for attention? Is it a need for love? Like that kind, and that's where the work centers for me.
You said a lot in that statement. And the only reason why I say that is because I'm just really thinking about my life.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with sharing my trauma, right? Like, it's not a big deal, right? Unless it's not addressed. And I want to make sure that I provide that caveat. Yeah. You know, I didn't grow up with I grew up in East St. Louis. And I feel like my trauma mirrors that of a lot of Black men. Yeah. Right. So I'm often, told to provide my experience. I provide my experience. I'm shitted on, right? By the people I work for, community I work in. Oftentimes there's a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
Black men and Black women. I feel like Black women are like trans people, living in a time where, people don't want us until like, we have this grant and we need you, Anthony, to bring 5,000 people out in 2 months. By program. And so after the program is over and done with, then I'm thrown away.
It's a good point.
My white sister friend, she gets to move across the country and get jobs and be able to be celebrated in her living her life. And I'm meanwhile, struggling with the same salary for 10 years. And I don't mean that to be mean, but that's what I'm not privileged here in the sense that I've had this trauma. These are things that I see constantly. And this is not, I don't have to go to Mississippi. I'm right here in Chicago, in progressive Chicago, where I work for white progressives and neoliberals that really do harness this type of sentiment.
Yeah,
we're not good enough unless we're working on our issues.
Well, I really appreciate the distinction you're making between individual issues and systemic issues.
Right.
Okay, so a lot of what you're describing are the systemic issues that impact individuals. And when that impacts happen to a Black and brown person, if we don't have access to quality support, and I'm not saying that has to be therapy, I think that in the form of a friend who can really listen, a really good person who you trust and let your guard down with. I think we only need one or two, because without that, then we're left to wonder, like, is it just me? Am I crazy? Was I tripping? Did that incident of oppression really occur? And the truth of the matter is the answer is likely yes. I think if you're perceiving something, feeling something, it's likely real. And right now we are dealing with a lot, right? Black and brown folks getting killed left and right, trans folks, like it is rampant. And so I think we're all kind of compromised right now.
We are.
Yeah, and we're asked to continuously do more. Folks are wanting us to show up, lead the movement, and we tired.
And then they shit on us. So let me say this to you, Dr. Simmons. We have to go on a quick commercial break. I'm having some technology issues.
Okay.
So I'm going to ask that we go on a quick commercial break using that video, and I'll see you back here in 90.
So my mother is an older Latina, indigenous woman who is not very connected to her roots. So when we brought up the census this year, she was like, I don't see the point. She'd be like, ain't nothing gonna change. It's about having that conversation as we were doing it together. Older indigenous options were popping up, Azteca, Apache, all these things that we connect to as a family. And so I think it softens my mother's view about change. She said, wow, that's really interesting to see that they're counting indigenous people, and it's just not about Hispanic or Latino or white. There was actually a deeper feeling and connection that we had. So my mother was really appreciative of that. There is a history, and I wanted to point out to my mother how much the census has changed since the first one in 1790. Let's compare and see how much it's changed. And in some way, that's such a visual representation of progress. So that's why I took a step back. And even though I didn't feel represented completely as a trans woman, I still felt that I needed to put that aside and participate, because it's so much more than just gender. It is about allocation of funds and making sure that it is going to communities that deserve it.
Hi, Otis.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Amazing. I don't know what's going on, but hell, I'm here.
Hey, I'm glad you're here.
Yeah,
it's really
thank
nice to officially meet you.
Oh, okay, but we've never met, right?
We should have, though.
You say what?
I said we should have.
We definitely should have. I got to send you my resume. Yeah. Some people don't think, watch this. I want to ask you this. I heard you say something that sometimes we need to take the time ourselves, even if it's through masturbation or I do it all the time, honey.
Yeah.
I've been having virtual sex doing this this pandemic. But there are people who are dealing with mental health who don't really understand and know it's really a mental health issue. Right.
Because it can look like so many different things.
Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Some folks, I work in social services, and some folks ask me, Mr. Mack, how do you deal with it? I don't know if I need to see a therapist or not, but
my belief is everybody could probably benefit from speaking to a mental health professional, just because it's an opportunity to be heard. Like when I'm in my sessions with my therapist or in my couple sessions with therapy with my husband, like it's a wonderful opportunity to be heard, tell our stories, get validation, have folks really like normalize our experience versus making us feel like it's something wrong with us that we're going through.
Yeah, because a lot of times people think everything is going just fine with the person, when really, I'm just a go-getter. I'm busy. I'm doing things. Sometimes I have breakdowns myself. Like, I don't scream or holler, but
well, there's so many different ways to have a breakdown. I appreciate that, right? Some people's is manifested in that maybe aggression or erratic behavior. Others, it's isolation, it's shut down, it's crying a lot, it's eating everything. I mean, it's excessive substance abuse. It really can run the gamut. There's no right or wrong way for these things to manifest. But I think just this kind of conversation will normalize mental health issues, and we make it okay for folks to say, like, hey, I actually might benefit from talking to a therapist because I feel stressed or lonely or confused. Yeah.
Right. So the bottom line is, just because you speak with a therapist don't mean you have a problem.
No.
Don't mean you cuckoo. Some folks put that like, oh, he going to see a therapist. Yeah, but I'm going to see a therapist.
Well,
I'm going to see a therapist. I won't strangle your ass.
Right. Well, Otis, if I can get honest with you, my belief is we all got a little something going on. Okay? A little something. You talk to people enough to know, you've dated enough to be like, oh, that's how your crazy show up. We all got something.
Yeah.
It's not to judge.
Everybody ain't saying the same thing about you.
Okay.
Everybody ain't telling that same story. Something's wrong. Something's happening. Go on, Anthony.
But I will keep it real. Whose business is it? Like, why are we having conversations around people's health? Like I don't give, I give a damn about that person because I love them as an individual. But comments about people's substance use. Yeah. Like, how about you give that person a call and ask them what they need? So I mean, there's some truth to that also. Like I get so disappointed, particularly those of us that work in this profession, who seem to have these conversations around people's health. There is a law called confidentiality. There is a law called HIPAA. And you know what? I'm going to do this. Our honoree is here on the program already. Do you know Dr. Maya Green, Danielle?
No.
Danielle Simmons? Well, you're going to be introduced to her tonight.
I'm excited.
I'm going to ask our control room if they could bring Dr. Maya in for this conversation, if she's ready. Because she just brought up a very good point in our comment section, and I think it's important for her to actually share that. Hi, Dr. Maya Green. How are you?
Hi, how are you? Can you all hear me?
Yes, we can. How are you?
I'm good. Hey, everybody. It's good to see everybody's faces. We got some beautiful skin going on, all of us. Yes. We're ready for the summer Rona glow. But I just to also come in. Hello. I forgot what
it's iced tea, by the way.
What'd you say?
I'm sorry. It's iced tea, by the way, not cocktails.
Oh no, it's okay. I forgot. Did Anthony already talked about how we're supposed to address you, Simmons?
You can call me Danielle. I don't mind.
And they call me Maya. I don't know why this is okay. So I wanted to say thank you so much for all the conversation. I was getting therapy while Anthony was getting therapy, while, just being in a space to get that and receive that from you. Thank you for the beautiful words you said. I was also mentioning that Black and brown people in America have been conditioned to hold everybody else's stuff. Like Anthony was talking about. Hey, you're not important until we need you to fix this. Hold this. Here's an opportunity where we know we can't accomplish this. So we want to appropriate your gift, and then when it's time for us to deal with our stuff, historically, there's not been space made. So that also feeds into why a lot of times we think like, why would I go to a therapist and everything like that? When if you look at cultures that thrive, there's some cycle of healing that everybody in society plays. Like, so I do my part in healing so that you can go ahead and do your part in healing. You receive it, and then you go and you give it to somebody else. And that's how it's supposed to go. And that's how it goes in a lot of communities. But when it comes to Black and brown people, it's just a lot of times about us holding other people's stuff.
Yeah, I love that you're saying that, because I think it's a reminder that we have to take care of ourselves and each other in a different way. Maybe in an ideal world, we would rely on others to show up for us. But I think time and time again, we've seen that burn us pretty badly. And so we're really learning, how do I take care of myself? How do I do collective healing for my community members? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So,
Dr. Simmons, I may be, Dr. Maya is already a analyst, our medical analyst for Fahrenheit Live. So we might need to talk to you off the program about being our mental health therapist analyst offline. Because here's the deal. I make it no secret. I came out in 2014 when we brought Jennifer Lewis to Chicago at the Baton Show Lounge. And Jennifer Lewis talked about her work in HIV, but she talked about her work on herself with bipolar disorder. Okay. And I came out with that sentiment several years ago. Some of my friends thought it was a mistake at the time for me to actually talk so openly about those things, because they were afraid that it would be used against me.
Yeah.
Which it has, and I don't give a damn, right? Because I understand that this cause is greater than one individual. This is about people being aware of the of what's going on with them.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of stuff that is going on in our community. Sometimes I found myself in the part of the pandemic, the first part of the pandemic. I was in the barbecue place and I paid for this food, and I snapped off and I said, "Oh my God, Anthony." I called my doctor here, Dr. Maya, and I said, "Dr. Maya, I'm just like falling apart here. What's going on?" And so there are times we fall apart and we need to get it checked in. Otis, I'm so sorry. Go ahead.
I mean, that's normal for you to snap off, though, Anthony. Sometimes you have a time bomb. I have to calm you down a lot, but we love you just the same. Go on.
So, Dr. Maya, what say you?
I think it's wonderful that when you go on, everybody has their journey. Everybody's journey isn't the same, and that's one of the things that I think for a lot of reasons, everybody's journey isn't the same because of the structure of this country, but also everybody's journey isn't the same because we're all individuals. What I think is wonderful that you are in a space where you can self-reflect and a lot of times self-correct, I think you don't see that a lot. You don't see that a lot. The beautiful thing, Anthony, is that as you are open and opening up dialogue, you also make space for other people to be open and kind of make that dialogue. Another beautiful thing is that one of the things that is the hardest thing for a lot of us to do is admit our own shit, right? Sorry, I forgot we were admit our own stuff, right? And so, first of all, kudos to you for being in a space where no matter what you experience, no matter the trials and the triumphs. Who said trials and triumphs earlier? Anthony, that was you. I said trials and triumphs. You better come on. And so no matter what happens, you have the space to self-reflect, self-correct, and admit your stuff. That is the first step. Second step that was beautiful is reaching out to your support and your supporting network and saying, "Hey, here's where I am," and opening up the floor and being like, got any ideas on next steps? That's beautiful.
Thank you, Dr. Maya. I want you to stay on the program. And I just want to say to you, Dr. Simmons, what are some last words that you can leave our listening audience about mental health as we move on to the next topic?
Yeah. Well, I want to again thank you all for making space for this important topic. I think, unfortunately, when we think of mental health, we often wait until a problem has happened, and then we're trying to be reactive, and I think being more proactive. So being more mindful of what are the things that could set me off, what are the things I would need. So I'm talking about increasing your self-awareness of the things you need to self-soothe, but also the things that could set you off. I think increasing your access to quality social support, and I think owning your truth. Anthony, you demonstrated courage when you came out telling your story, and I imagine there are many folks who look to you for inspiration. And so I hope that you can continue to model that kind of vulnerability and transparency, because it is through that vulnerability that we can actually connect and get the support we need.
Well, thank you. What a nice lasting words for you to say. And that truly touches my heart. And I'm going to continue to share my story, and I hope others do as well. And I'm a work in progress. And so I thank you for joining the program, Dr. Danielle Simmons, psychologist right here in Chicago. She does not have any openings, and when she get that opening, I'm taking it. So
I will say though, just a quick little commercial. I do have a Simmons Counseling and Consulting Services. And so if you're looking for someone to come out and do a workshop, a training, a keynote, I'm here. So even though I might not have openings on my individual caseload, I do other work in the community as well.
Well, we will definitely be looking to you, Dr. Simmons.
And so you can
just nice to have on the program tonight. Thank you so much. And we love you.
Bye, everybody. You can check me out at drdaniellesimmons.com.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
So, Dr. Maya, so thank you for joining us on the program. I know that I like to pull you in, and I like to pull you in because, you know, I worked in the healthcare field for nearly 20 years. I started when I was 19, and I was a boy in the Southern Baptist Church, and didn't realize my grandmother was being thoughtful about me when she made a certain comment that pushed me into this kind of work. And I didn't take my healthcare very seriously until I met you. And I remember you were just a friend, a casual friend and colleague. And you said, Anthony, I want to be your doctor. You know, and I would never forget that. And so one of the things that I like to always talk about is the heroes and the sheroes that are in our community. They're always looking out for us. And I can't say this more than I already have. I don't know any other words to tell you how much we appreciate you. And I want Howard Brown to know this. I want Cook County to know this. You are a gem to this community, and there's a community that loves you and they support you. And so Fahrenheit, oftentimes, every year we honor a slew of people, and I don't know why we haven't in years past selected you, but here's to you tonight, our honoree for Fahrenheit Honors. And I really wish that we would have been able to do this in person, but when we are able to, we're going to have a cocktail party, and we're going to hug each other when we can. And let me just say this: you started. Keith Green often talks about you being the girl in class, the little sister that he never had, that got on his nerves, right?
Yes.
You then go on to be a school teacher, teaching a bunch of whiny kids, right?
Yeah.
And that wasn't enough for me to teach our most vulnerable folks that you had to become a doctor and fix all of us. Dr. Green, I can't think of anybody in the medical profession who represents our community that is of such I can't even think of the words. Thank you so much for all that you do. Sometimes just a simple thank you is all that I have to say. On behalf of me, on behalf of all of the patients at Howard Brown, Cook County Core Center, and people that you take in that people don't even talk about. You spend your own damn money. Thank you for being you. And you're not that much older than many of us right now. You're 42?
I just turned 43 yesterday.
Well,
happy birthday. I just turned 39 2 days ago.
Yes. Happy birthday.
And I'll be 44 on my birthday.
Come on now.
All right.
Okay.
Yes.
So talk to us a little bit about talk to us just take a couple minutes and talk to us about that transition from elementary school teacher to doctor.
I think at the heart of it, I've always been a person who is called to facilitating community healing, right? And so for me, well, first let me back up. Thank you all so much. For me, it is my calling. It is what I am purposed to do. Earlier, I was talking about walking in healing so that you can heal your tribe. So each member of the tribe can go on and offer healing and holistic care and holistic humanism to the next person. And that's essentially what my calling is. What title goes with it? Because, people call me Maya, people call me Dr. Maya, people call me whatever they want to call me. What form that takes is more led by my purpose. So I'm still doing the same thing I did as a teacher, just among adults. And the medical degree opened the door for me to come in that room and essentially be like, hey, and especially in our community, living in this time, come in that door and say, hey, recognize your kingship, recognize your queenship. Don't forget that in the face of everything that's going on. Don't forget that in the face of the reverence that this country actually has for you, but was trained to disguise it as fear. Don't ever forget that. And no matter what people tell you, reach inside yourself and you feel it, know it, and you shine. I think being a teacher allowed me to do it in that context. And, being a doctor allows me to do the same thing. I was listening to what you were talking about, and I was thinking about what Dr. Simmons was saying to you, Anthony. More so, you have no idea the amount of people. And we can't, she can't talk about it. I can't talk about it because it's, patient protected information. But you have no idea the amount of people that you reach. Otis, you too. You have no idea of the amount of people. And when you come on and Anthony, you say your truth, no matter what, two things are happening, right? You are walking in your human right that a lot of Black people and a lot of Black male identified people, even the more so, have been taught never to speak on how they feel, never to speak on how they think, and just to be of subservience and be there. You are walking in a space and people are living through you. So that is also what I like to walk in the room and do. Encourage people like you, encourage people like Otis, encourage my community to not only be themselves and live, but to thrive in the face of right now a country that's telling you you don't belong here. You should be quiet. You should live.
This segment, I'm sorry to cut you off, but this segment isn't about me and Otis. It's about you.
Okay.
And so I just want to say this, Dr. Maya, for everybody to know that you saved my life. Somebody talked about a DJ saving their life, but I'm talking about a doctor that saved my life. So thank you so much for all that you have done. So we honor you. We thank you. We love you. We appreciate you.
And I will say it's an honor.
And I'm gonna say this. Oh my God, I look ugly. I'm looking at myself fall apart and melt apart on screen.
No, you look real. You look real. You look real, and it's okay.
Thank you so much, Dr. Good. I'm gonna leave it there.
Okay.
I'm gonna leave it there. I think that's all that needs to be said. I'm gonna get my shit together.
Okay, and I just want to say it's actually an honor for me to show up and care for my community, and I'm blessed to be able to do it. So thank you so much, and thank your organization. Thank LordeRustin&Bates. Thanks Fahrenheit. Thank you all for allowing me to do what I do and serve the community.
Thank you for all that you do, Doctor. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We appreciate you.
Otis, what do we have next?
Oh man, I don't even know. I'm just thrown from Dr. Simmons and Dr. Maya. I'm just thrown. And that little piece was really powerful.
Oh my
Really,
God. You
really
know, Otis,
powerful.
I love you.
And
I do. You know, I love Black people because to know the shit that we actually live through every day, I don't think many other groups, Latinx people too. I don't think the people who live in the privilege that they get to live in every day will be able to sustain as we have. We talk about all of the shit that happens in our community, but the Dr. Maya stories actually happen more often than the stories that we hear about somebody shooting up somebody.
Yes.
Right? Dr. Maya happens every freaking day, right? And she takes care of a great bunch of the 30,000 clients that Howard Brown sees every year. A Black woman is doing that on the south side of Chicago. And I hope Howard Brown knows the gym that they have in Maya Green.
I'm sure they do. I'm sure they do. And let me leave this with you. Mental health is not a destination, but a process. It's about how you drive, not where you're going. Okay? I'm here to help you. This is Fahrenheit 2020, live right here on E3 Radio. And we're going to welcome back our artist, Akenya. We're going to bring her back to close us out tonight. Anthony, you have any final words before I bring Akenya back?
I just want to say that we will be back on the program on September 14th, and we will be talking about nothing other than politics. And we'll be back on the 28th. We'll have Congresswoman Robin Kelly. We'll have Lamont Robinson. We'll have a Star Studies show of folks, of political operatives, talking with us about what they think they're, we'll be at that point 6 weeks away from the election.
Yes, so we will not be on the 7th.
No, we won't. We'll be back on the 14th and on the 28th.
Making sure you was correct. I knew you had got caught up a little bit. Just making sure you was correct. Okay?
Now, I can't wait to be in the studio together.
Okay. Listen, thank you guys so much for tuning in tonight. We're going to bring our artists back, and just for your viewing and listening pleasure, from 9 to 11 p.m. If you want to tune in and catch me live, I'm live on 106.9 FM, the Pulse, the People Station, tonight, Monday through Thursday. Tune in, okay? I'm here to help you. Listen, let's welcome back to the stage a dynamic artist, educator, a songwriter, a talent within a talent. You all make some noise for Akenya.
Hello, y'all. Happy to be back. So I'm going to close this out with my song Decay. It's about my struggle with Lyme disease, which certainly comes with its share of mental health battles. So if you like it, please stream it, buy it. Percentage of proceeds goes to Limelight Foundation, which helped me with my expenses for treatment. So hope you like it. This is Decay. You keep my feet high above my head, and my spine is tucked between my knees. I thought I would only know decay when I was dead. You make wilting something of ease. I never wanted to be twisted up like this. I think my body might get sick enough and quit. I never wanted to be twisted up amidst all the prey that you claim for the taking. Ooh, ooh. Tried to play me, got me, acted like I'm crazy. But frankly, I don't want to be around this. Don't want to stand for your bullshit. No. My energy isn't feeling you, you're not hitting me, you just wanna defeat me. You're trying to play me, got me, acting like I'm crazy. Nah, frankly, don't want to stand for you. You keep killing me, you just turn my insides outside one by one. Dim the bright side of my attitude. Shatter any matter of the woman I become, yeah. Then take my breaking bones as gratitude. I never thought I would be twisted up like this, but I know my spirit hasn't given up, so I persist and resist the urge to sit and reminisce of the days when you lay unawake. Yeah. Ooh, you wanna defeat me, yeah. You tried to play me, got me acting like I'm crazy. But frankly, I don't wanna be around this. Don't wanna stand for your bullshit. No, my energy isn't feeling you. You not healing me. You just wanna defeat me. You're trying to play me, got me acting like I'm crazy. Frankly, yeah. I keep fighting, but you keep killing me. Just. You wanna see my spirit dissipate. You want my body to disintegrate. But I refuse to just wither away. I won't succumb to this decay. I want to make me decay, but I want you. I want to break down my faith, but you won't. My enemy, I keep fighting till you stop killing me.
Thank you so much, Akenya, for that beautiful, beautiful song. And again, people can catch you on all platforms at Akenya Music. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me.
All right. Have a good one.
You too.
All right, you all. So we'll be back on the September 28th for another edition of Fahrenheit Live. You all be safe and don't forget to take the census if you haven't done so. See you later. Peace.